Hey guys, welcome back to the TohirT channel. TohirT here. I hope you had a fantastic week. We're in December already. We're still in Tri-State. It's cold. And well, if there's one thing for you to know about Tri-State is the parking. The parking situation from town to town, from New York City to some of the suburbs can be pretty terrible. Well, how do you resolve it? In comes BoxCar, a new competitor in this space. They offer an opportunity for you to park your car for the entire day for pretty reasonable price, sub $10 for most of the locations. I've tried them for the first time this week. I'm here to talk about it. Let's do this. If you've never heard about BoxCar before, not surprising at all. They are relatively new to the marketplace. I couldn't find the exact date when they launched, but it seems like this 2019 is the first year when they're properly in business. The concept is pretty simple. Think about a place like a church. Very popular, if that's the word to say, during the weekend, during the service. People come there, they park, they use the parking lot throughout the entire day. But what happens during the weekday? Crickets. No one uses that parking space. So BoxCar came up with this brilliant idea to say, hey, if you are not that far from a major transportation hub, if you're not that far from the area where people usually work and there are offices around you, but there's not enough parking spaces, why won't you rent those spaces out to daily commuters, to people who work and would use them during the day? Some of those churches, like the Polish church that I used, a stone throw away from a major train station in Stamford downtown. So I park my car, I walk for 2 minutes, and I'm already on the train. This is great. This is the revenue, obviously, for the BoxCar. I assume they're charging a commission. There's a way for the church itself to monetize and get that additional revenue stream to support the church. And the daily commuters like myself, we save money, we still get our parking spot, and oh, by the way, I can reserve it in advance. I think it's win-win-win for all the parties, and yes, our planet does benefit from it as well, because otherwise I would have probably driven all the way to New York and parked there. I would have created all those exhaust fumes that would go into the atmosphere. Being a skeptical person, I'd ask, maybe the app is wrong? There must be something wrong with this product. Nah, not really. It's as simple as it sounds. You install the app, you open it, it prompts you to register. You register with the standard information, your name, your phone number, your email address. Then you go to the next field, you register your car, and you're done. Initiation is complete. Now time to find a spot. This company is primarily focused on the Tri-State right now, which makes total sense. They're headquartered in New Jersey, but oh well, let's look at the Tri-State. I am in Stamford. I want to park close to the train station. A couple of taps, and there you go. I've booked my parking spot. There's something to be said about simple, straightforward UI and user experience, so kudos to whoever developed it for the BoxCar. Now it's time to go and park your car. It's relatively simple again. Find the right location, use the navigation, use the in-app screenshots and the satellite view to make sure you're in the right spot. Once you're in that parking lot, look for the parking spots marked with BoxCar logo. Locate them, select any one that are available, park your car, lock it, and you're done. No need to get a ticket, no need to check in, reserve, do any other action. That parking spot is yours. Just make sure you're on the right day there. Park it, leave your car. Make sure you double check the closing hours, if there are any, for that location. The example of that church where I parked, they do close around 10 or 11 p.m. and they have a proper gate, so they shut that place down overnight, and you better not leave your car there. I doubt there will be any person unless you want to go and wake up the pastor, the father, I don't know how you would call it for that particular church, but you better not walk the staff of that church to get your car out. They probably won't let you. So easy enough to register on the app, easy enough to find the location and pay for it, simple enough to find it on the physical location. Once you're right there, once you see that logo, a little bit of that paint marks the spot, and just make sure you find the right hours for the check-in and check-out. As you can tell, my experience with the app was very positive. Yes, I used it only once, but I enjoyed how straightforward it is. And there's something to be said, again, about the business that do not only provide you a great experience, but also contributes to the community by providing additional revenue streams for those businesses. Hopefully more small businesses can stay in action thanks to those parking spots that they can now lease out to us commuters. We save the money on our daily commute, and the environment benefits as well. They also provide shuttle service from New Jersey to Manhattan, which I think is another interesting take on it. It's what they call an exclusive form of shuttle that picks you up at certain locations and drops you off in certain locations within Manhattan, an alternative to the PATH trains, some of the other trains, or other commuter options that people would use between New Jersey and Manhattan. Interesting. I hope in general the company takes off and they offer these different takes on various commuter services. They even have a section on their website to register for testing of their scooters. Yeah, I know. Another company trying electric scooters, hopefully, and I'm pretty confident based on what I've seen so far from BoxCar, they'll probably have their own unique take on this service, but the time will tell. To nitpick a little, make sure it's not all positive, right? We need to provide some constructive feedback. One would say that the lack of marketing is an issue, but the interesting part is that the way they do their marketing is essentially through their parking spots. That's how I found out about the app. I would drive through New Canaan, and I know how notoriously hard it is to find parking at New Canaan train station unless you're there at like 5:30 a.m. or 6 a.m. in the morning, or you are a resident with a resident pass for the resident exclusive parking lot next to the train station. So I was driving by one of the churches over there right across the street from the train station. I saw those spots marked up on the road and I had to Google it and figure it out. And to my surprise, yes, I now have a solution to go take my time and still find parking next to New Canaan train station because I have it reserved. The other point, I think, to me personally, BoxCar is a little bit of a generic brand name, and maybe that's part of the reason why it's harder for you to discover it in the first place, but it seems like they're showing up first spot in Google search when you use that word, so far so good. There are some songs and things like that they need to combat for that top spot, but they're on the right track, and hopefully, let's think about it. Uber. Very generic name as well, but here we are. Everyone knows it. Everyone can see the logo in front of their eyes the moment I say their name. So I think BoxCar does have an uphill battle with that brand name. Another point of feedback, number of parking spots. My fear, my very selfish fear, is that as the app gets more and more popular, which I really hope it will, kudos to the creators, it will be harder and harder for you to find the spots. You almost have to be that first person. It's almost like picking the class at school, a very popular class, when you have to be early enough right before the registration window opens up and be the first one to click and reserve it. I feel like that's what it's going to look like, especially for those locations that are very popular. Stanford train station has that parking spot set right next to it, but to my knowledge and from what I've seen, there are only about 8, maybe 10 parking spots, which is nothing compared to how popular and how heavy in traffic the Stanford train station is. So it will become an issue once people get to know about the app. Come to think about it, that issue can be rectified. I wouldn't be surprised if BoxCar will release a subscription service of sorts where you can subscribe to a parking spot at a particular location for the same fee per day, or maybe even a discounted rate, because at the end of the day, it's a benefit for me as a commuter. I have a secured spot, it belongs to me, and I always know it will be there. It's a guaranteed revenue for BoxCar, which is always great in this kind of volatile app-driven world where things change with highest frequency possible. And it's also a guaranteed revenue for the church, for the business that lands their spot, which hopefully also keeps them in that system. The final portion of my feedback would be the control of the experience. I'm curious to see how experience differs from location to location, from church to church, from business to business that lands their space, because for BoxCar, it's only a small team in Jersey. It's hard for them to control the experience across the entire tri-state, and as the company expands beyond these 3-4 states, it will get even harder. So I'll be very curious to see how that transposes. And for the business and the church themselves, I'm very curious to see how much of an appetite will they have for this service as they start seeing the impact of the increased traffic on their location. It's one thing when you have most of your traffic on a particular day of the week. It's the whole other thing when you have, say, dozens of cars coming in and out every day throughout the winter months here in the tri-state. That water gets in the concrete, those cars go through the concrete, and you start seeing the potholes. So the upkeep of the parking locations for those businesses will increase. Another interesting consideration to see how long these businesses, these churches will stay in the system, and hopefully some of those additional programs and subscription services will keep them in there, because I, again, selfishly would love to see that business to continue. I would love to keep using those parking spots right next to the Stanford station, and I'm sure other commuters in their own areas would love that too. Have you heard about BoxCar before? Do you think it solves a real issue in your life? And what are other small businesses with very genius and big ideas that you're aware of? Let's shine the spotlight on them in the section below. And this is all I have for you guys this week. fun new product. I really enjoyed using it. I'm very excited to see where BoxCar will go with their other ideas. Plus, I think I'm the first one who actually reviews them and makes a content like this about this business. I don't know if it makes me the influencer, but who cares? I just enjoy finding some new stuff for you guys and use it as an inspiration. Think about it. It's a relatively simple idea, yet none of us thought about it until those guys did, and now they execute it, and hopefully that business will bring wealth to the community, savings for us as users, and a lot of wealth for the founders of that app. I'm sure you encounter a problem in your life every day that you have to go through, but you never thought of a very simple solution that might bring you millions of dollars. Thank you very much, guys, for stopping by. If you're new to this channel, go ahead, hit the subscribe button and check out the videos in the backlog. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you very much for stopping by. As always, let me know in the comment section below what you thought about this video, and I will see you all next Saturday, 10 AM Eastern, on this very channel. Another music recommendation outro. This time around, it's about Teamarrr. Teamarrr is very new to the scene. She's very unique artist. I enjoy her lyrical abilities. I enjoy her songs. I think she has a very interesting pizzazz and swag about her. And I'm very much excited that she partnered with a great producer. By that I mean her boss is Issa. Yes, Issa of the Insecure fame. If you never knew, Issa actually ventures out in other media businesses, and she has her own record label, and Teamarrr is her first artist. I think it's a great pick. I'll share Teamarrr music down below. There are links to a few of her music videos, and actually her music video on one of the songs that I really enjoy will be featured in one of the upcoming videos on a very special topic that I'd like to discuss. Hopefully before the end of the year, but who knows, it might slip into 2020. In either case, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.